And we're back with another week of the glorious Katekyo Hitman REBORN. And with this chapter, chapter 94, from last chapter 93 when we ended it, they started off with the match of the ring of the sun, my bad. And so we get into this chapter and we see who they're facing against. So it's Ryohei, and the person he's going to face off against to get the other half of the ring sun is Lusaria. Now, I do want to say that I do have a feeling, especially with new readers, those who are more used to today's type of manga, particularly battle shonen and everything, manga and anime. Lusaria's character, and excuse me if I did butcher his name or something. I know some people may feel a certain way about him, how he is portrayed, and I'm not going to excuse it. Excuse me. In a way, like, yeah, I'm not even going to try to excuse Lusaria's character, because the way his character is portrayed the first time you meet him, right? And the minute he starts talking, you can immediately tell he is overly flamboyant and he is a gay character, right? But the way he is depicted and shown seems very stereotypical of an LGBT type of character. And I know that probably may rub some people off in a wrong way, okay? And I was also thinking, when I was reading the chapter before I came to do the video, I was thinking the day that, when the anime comes back, we don't know when exactly. I do know that they will have to make changes to several things in the series itself, given the fact that it is a early to mid 2000 manga series. So they are banking off like from the 90s and the 80s and stuff, and things that were okay during that time but wouldn't be okay now. And I was thinking to myself, possibly they might kind of change Lusaria's character a little bit, because as the chapter is going on, right? The chapter happens where, yes, the match has started and they're at Namimori. Now it's midnight, right? And when they go there, they instantly see this huge cage, a ring cage, which looks like a boxing ring, right? Something that you thinking, okay, for Ryohei, he's in his field, because we all know him as a boxer in Namimori Middle School, okay? He's in the boxing club. At one point in the story, he tried to convince Suna to join the boxing club, but he never did, right? He is the fighter, the hand-to-hand, the one who throws hands in the group. The only one, because everybody else uses some form of weapons. Doesn't matter if it comes down to wearing gloves or using bombs, tonfas, a sword, lightning horns, okay? Everybody else uses weapons versus Ryohei, who is the physical fighter of the group, okay? So they built this type of ring to match the characteristics of the sun bearer of the Vongola group, okay? And as they describe, the person who wields the sun ring is how they say, as Reborn states, he says, destroying the misfortune that attacks the family with their own body, they become the sun that brightly shines upon an area. That's the purpose of the guardian of the sun. So it fits with someone who only uses their body, they don't use no forms of weapons. It's not to say he probably won't, but he uses his body as the weapon versus everybody else in the group, to make sure to thwart any type of attack that may try to penetrate itself into the area, aka the group. Okay, so they get into the cage, into the ring, right? And as soon as they get into the ring, it shines extremely brightly. Like, there's a bunch of lights and it's beaming. And what was their name again? I forgot their name. The Cervello, right? They state that we designed this ring to match the qualities of the sun. the sun bring bearer, right? So all those lights that's bearing down and it's bringing extreme heat is to make a fake sun. So they have to fight under this extreme heat and blinding lights while everybody outside of the ring has to wear sunglasses. You probably saw pictures of like Yamamoto and Reborn on his shoulder wearing those glasses from the anime and everything. They have to do that because one, they can't see in there, and if you look at Lusaria, he's the only one that's wearing glasses within the ring, so you might think that's unfair. But going back to Lusaria's character, first, when he sees Ryohei, mind you, Lusaria is a grown man, and then you have Ryohei, who's obviously a teenager underage, and he's like, you're my type of boy. Ooh, you're like it. I know it's gonna throw a lot of people off. I know. I understand. I completely understand. Like someone who has read this, and know growing up reading manga from the 2000s coming up, I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it all. And I can understand if this is not something you're very comfortable with. Hence why I made the mention of that the day they do bring back the anime, I do believe they will be making several changes. And if one of them is changing how Lusaria is first presented to hit the viewers, us the viewers, I would not be surprised, okay? Because he makes several comments that is very uncomfortable, especially towards a younger character, okay? It comes off very creepy, okay? Saying like Ryohei's body is his type and everything, and then it goes on to this very demented type of talk, like, oh, I like them when they're not moving, and basically he likes a dead fit body. And you're kind of, if this is your first time reading Katekyo or first time watching, I don't know if I can't remember exactly if in the original anime they did tone it down a little bit, but yeah. So obviously Ryohei, the difference is, you can tell off the bat, obviously, Lusaria has a bigger, much more well-developed body versus Ryohei, even though Ryohei is built due to him always training and everything, as we clearly saw. But the biggest difference is, while Ryohei is a boxer through and through, Lusaria is a Muay Thai type of fighter. Meaning, while Ryohei has to constantly rely on his fists to attack, Lusaria can use his entire body. So once the match has commenced, okay, they instantly start fighting. Obviously Ryohei can't take the blinding lights, and mind you, because the arena is so hot, he's getting dehydrated very quickly. All his sweat is evaporating, and he has to fight under these blinding lights where he cannot see his opponent, versus Lusaria, who looks like he's in his what do you call it, his element, obviously, right? And he's moving with ease. He's the one that lands the first attack. Okay, he punches Ryohei. Ryohei ends up getting thrown into the ropes, which are like electrified, so they do burn the body. Okay, they do burn the body. He has burn marks over his torso and like up of his upper arms and everything. And when you thought he got Lusaria by punching him, he actually punched the air. Like Lusaria purposely put himself in position to get hit, more than likely to understand just how strong his opponent is. And Ryohei also notices as well, when he punched, he realized, hold on, I never actually touched Lusaria. I was punching the air between him and me. So he was punching in between that space. So when he goes back again on the offense, Lusaria comes and he's like, nah, this is finished. He uses his knee, which is, one, it's out of metal, and he also has a metal plate, so that's like double whammy for Ryohei. And because of the force that Ryohei is throwing his punch, it actually most likely broke the bones in his forearm and in his hands, and most likely busted a few blood vessels and veins, okay? So his arm is damaged. And you're thinking, well, damn. Ryohei is, Ryohei, despite being in an arena, he is most well versed in, aka a boxing ring. He is completely, again, out of his element. He's facing against someone who, in terms of the type of martial art, is completely different. Like, yes, both of them do use their fists, but like I said, Muay Thai utilizes the entire body, meaning both the hands and the feet, the legs. Okay, whereas boxing, yes, you use your legs, but that's more so for movement. They are not to be used to attack. He only can use his upper body to attack. Okay, and just when you think all hope is lost, because one, again, like I stated, Ryohei is dehydrated, he is heavily injured, okay, and he's about to just pass out and or die if Lucario goes back on the next attack, okay, because that next attack could be the most fatal one, and we end up losing Ryohei. Colonello comes out of nowhere, okay? Mind you, Master Colonello comes, he was with Kyoko, and that's why he came late to the match. Oh, might I add also, no outsiders can go into when the matches begin. Nobody, whether it be the participants or even outsiders, can jump in to intervene, because if they do, automatically they are disqualified and the rings go to the opposite team. So therefore, it stays true to the one-on-one battles. No one else is allowed to interfere. If you do, you lose, okay? So, might I add, Imitsu and Basil were fighting possibly anybody who's trying to, intervene from the outside, and now they're watching on the fight. But now going back to Colonello, he comes and he's telling Ryohei, hey, I'm telling you, you know what to do, okay? Show him your full power. And so the chapter ends off on a cliffhanger saying, where Ryohei saying that, like, I've been dying to hear those words. I've been waiting to hear those words from you, Master Colonello. And that's how the match ends off. So it ends off, yes, on a cliffhanger, but it ends off on kind of like, in a way, bittersweet hope. Because it's bittersweet in the sense that Ryohei, as soon as the match started, he was obviously outmatched by someone who is more versatile, someone who is more experienced, someone who is completely in their element, okay? Doesn't matter what time, where it is or when it is, he completely dominated the entire field, okay? And he, again, Ryohei is completely outmatched in this match himself, okay? But not all hope is lost. All he needed was that words of encouragement. Mind you, before he went into the ring, I found it, I think this was probably one of my most favorite moments in each match that happened ever since they started for the half ring succession, was every time a match was about, before the match actually happened, everybody will form a group on Suna's side, will form a circle to cheer each other on. And no matter how embarrassing it is, it was more of like to build up their morale so they don't lose hope, okay? And they keep doing that for every match that goes forward. So I think that was one of my most little favorite moments when it came to the Varya arc. Like, no matter how bad the situation was, they will all group together because they're a family, they're friends, and all they want is for the best for each other. So it was like Yamamoto was like, yo, let's get together, form a circle, shout out, let's do this, let's get ready, let's get pumped up. And then Ryohei's like, yeah, let's go do it. And Suna and Gokudera is obviously very embarrassed by this whole ordeal, but they still do it nonetheless, okay? So it's a sense of morale, a sense of, like, telling each other, like, you got this, okay? We're right behind you, okay? So I really enjoy that because obviously you can tell versus the two, while they are stone cold killers and they're adults, so they're like, they're so used to this. They're not here to be friends or anything. Obviously, the more inexperienced side, in a way, and you start realizing this the more you read Reborn, and any other series you read, the younger the character is, the more they think they're invincible and you got this, no matter how terrifying the situation is. From someone who's more experienced, someone who's been dealing with this type of lifestyle, no matter who the opponent is, they turn kind of callous and cold to the whole situation. and it's almost expected that they come out victorious, versus people who are inexperienced, who looks to the good of every situation, no matter how bad it is, and still cheer each other on, you know, until reality comes and slap them in the faces. Again, they think that they're invincible. They think they can handle this, even if the outcome is not in their favor. So that's something I just realized within this chapter. So guys, do tell me how you felt about chapter 94, Katekyo Hitman REBORN. How did some of you feel about Lusaria's character? And if there's things that you do want to change about him but still keep who he is at his core intact, do tell me in the comment section. How do you feel this match is going to turn out? If this is your first time reading and or watching Katekyo Hitman REBORN, do tell me how you think this match is going to turn out. Do you think Ryohei is going to win? Or do you think Lusaria is going to win the first match of the half rings scramble? Okay, and how it's going to look going forward with 6 more matches to go? And then who's going to obviously win by the end of it, okay? The links are in the description box, so you guys can go check that out. And I'm Kimmy, channel of Anime Legends, and I will see you guys later. Bye! With